What's up, everybody? Hey, I am back. Finally made it back from my trip in Dallas, Texas. Went to my daughter's graduation. We were out there for a whole week. Just got back late last night. So, in this video, what we're going to talk about is we're just going to do a live Q&A on really how to make money, or really how they make money online. All right, so hope everybody had a good weekend. Had a good weekend again myself. Just got back in town, back to Vegas. Feels good to be back in your own bed, in your own workspace, on your, with all your gadgets and everything that you need to really do what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just glad to be here. Had a good time, and but now time to get back to work. And had been catching up on emails and this, that, and the other thing all day today. So. Just been kind of working in the background, but I thought I'd do a quick live video. I got some other videos I'm going to shoot later this week. I actually started tomorrow, actually. And, but I wanted to do a quick live video just to touch base with everybody and, kind of go over some things that I think that are very important. And this is going to be a really cool, quick Q&A for you guys. So if you've got questions about marketing or whatever you might be doing, whether you're marketing, making videos, doing blog posts, social media, whatever, this is a good place where you can ask those questions, and hopefully I can answer those questions for you. But one of the things I do want to talk about, I've got a few notes here, is, again, how do they make money online? How are people making money online? Hey, what's up, Lady Smash 711? What's going on? But again, just doing quick shout outs here. But so how do these people make all this money? You see them, right? We've had some success, but there's a lot of people that I follow, guys, that are just doing some incredible things on the internet, and I mean millions upon multi-millions of dollars in earnings, and I'm just in awe of it. But one of the ways that they're doing that, guys, is really branding yourself. You got to really brand yourself. That's really the key of it all. So if you're wanting, like, hey, how can I get to the next step? How can I really turn the page in my business? How can I really get to the next level? You really just got to promote yourself. You got to brand yourself. That's really the whole game, is really doing that. And how do you do that? Well, branding, because everybody talks about that, branding yourself. You got to brand yourself. You hear it all the time, right? Well, what does that really mean? It really means putting yourself in front of your opportunity, because when you're marketing, there's so much competition amongst all your other peers in your MLM, in whatever you're promoting, right? And you really got to differentiate yourself. I heard a gentleman say today, I was watching a video, he said, differentiate or die when you're marketing. And that really hit home with me, because that's really what you really got to do. You either differentiate yourself, or you're going to die in business. Because there's so many people out here doing the exact same thing that you're doing, and you're brand new. You just joined some whatever business, right? And now you're just posting information about, the company or whatever. Companies come and go, but you're going to always be here. Companies come and go, right? So you got to promote in a way to where you're going to always get exposure to no matter what you're promoting. You're always going to get people that are going to follow you, because they're following you because of the value that you bring to them. And that's really what makes the difference. And that's what's really made the difference in what we've been able to do over the years, is definitely branding ourselves and just really just sharing, the wisdom that we've learned. I don't know everything, because I got coaches and I got mentors, people I call, and I'm like, dude, what about this? I got questions myself, but we've learned some things over the years. So we try to, give you guys that information as well. So let me jump here to a few comments here. Here, let me look here. Let me see what's up. Let me see quick shout outs here. Hustler Mindset. What's up, man? Partner with Vinny. What's going on? Janet, how you doing? Let's see how many videos I need to make daily. Let me see. I think I can do this thing like this. Okay. I hope you guys can see that. So Hustler Mindset says, how many videos I need to make daily? That's a good question. I would say the more the merrier, but everybody is starting off at different levels because we all got jobs and kids and soccer practice and we got all these different things, right? I would say do as many as you can with the time that you have. And just to clarify that even more, I would definitely, I have a challenge, and I tried to do it even when I was in Dallas, but we had so much stuff going on with family stuff. I just didn't really have a lot of the time because we had this, and I was driving all over the city. I think a good challenge for yourself is to do one video a day. Whether it's a live video, whether it's a pre-recorded, edited video. I think that's a good place to start. If you're like, well, I don't really have time to do a video a day, even if it's just a live video using my mobile phone. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that, guys. But I would definitely say one's good. 3 or 4 out of the week is great, 2. I think you just want to be consistent. So whatever that number is, that's what I would say. If all you got is, hey, all I have is one video a week. Well, commit to one video a week, okay? Just commit to it. And that gives you 6 days out of the week to really do what you need to do, work, family, etc. And then one day out of that week, you're going to focus, hey, I'm going to make some type of video about my business, about my brand, about some type of value, whatever that might be. Just commit to that number. The more the merrier. Of course, the more videos you make, the more opportunities you're going to have in terms of hacking the algorithm of YouTube. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, just YouTube loves content and information. So the more you feed it, the better chances people are going to be able to see you. So the more frequently you're actually uploading videos is giving people more opportunity to see who you are, to get a chance to know who you are, get a chance to learn from you, see what you're doing, get a chance to really build that relationship. Because that's really what we're doing, guys. We're building relationships. I know you don't want to hear that. We are building relationships with people when it comes to social media and YouTube and Facebook and all that. That's really what it's all about. And I know most of the times that's really what we want. We really want people to just buy whatever it is that we have to offer, right? Just buy what I have, You don't have time to do all the other stuff. Hey, here's my link, just buy. I know that's what we want, but man, wouldn't life be so much easier if that was the world that we lived in and people would just buy what you have to offer? But unfortunately, as you well know, that's not the case. It's about building friends, building relationships, giving and receiving value, and really just, doing that on a continuous basis. And so I would definitely do that. So just to answer your question, one's great. One video a day is great, even if it's just a live video. But whatever that, even 3 is great. I know a lot of YouTubers that have millions of subscribers and tons of leads and sales that are doing like maybe 3 or 4 videos a week. They're not even doing videos every day, but they're very consistent and they might be all over the place. Like maybe they didn't do one last Monday, but this Monday they did one, but one thing you can rest assured is that they are very consistent in delivering content to their YouTube channel or Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever it might be, right? So I would say whatever that number is, just commit to it and just be consistent. It's not going to be overnight. I've had a lot of people that email me say, hey, I started just making videos last week. I haven't got any leads and sales. Well, hey, that's just the beginning. You got to keep doing it and you got to be a promoter of your videos. We've talked about this before, so I'm not going to get into it. But just whatever that number is, just be consistent. Great question. Let me see. Anthony, what's up, man? Well, how you been, man? Let me see. Let me see. Facebook groups suck. Yeah. Hustler Mind said, the Facebook group strategy. Man, that was a good, man. Do you guys remember the Facebook group strategy? That strategy really used to work. I think you really kind of got to build community now. You can't really just spam in Facebook groups and stuff like that. But we've done some things. I think we've all kind of done that to a certain extent. But it worked because people would get a chance to see you. You can promote your content and et cetera, and things would happen from there. So that really doesn't work anymore. Let's see. Janet has a question here. Janet says, where do you suggest I purchase leads? There's several lead sources out there that are available. I'll put some in the comments here below. I don't even have access to that actual. I'm trying to think where would that link actually be? Cool, because we actually have a few different resources. I'll be sure to put those. Put that information in the actual comments. So let me write that down. Lead sources. So just check back once I'm done here, and I'll put a few deals in the description of the video, Janet, and you can check those out. And mainly they're just lead sources where you can just buy leads. Some are BizOp leads, MLM leads, and there's different types of categories and stuff like that. And I think, and here's my my 2 cents on buying leads. I think it's good. I think anything is good that can get your information, your content in front of people. What people have a problem with a lot of times in marketing is they're just not being visible enough. They're not getting enough eyeballs onto what they have to offer, and then that kind of creates frustration and people quit. You know the whole game. But the whole thing is actually just focusing on getting more exposure. So I've got a few different options that I'll put in the description in terms if you want to purchase leads. Now, when it comes to purchasing leads, I think it's a good training ground because when you're sending information out to leads and people are responding, it really gets you into practice of what to say and how to really manage a lot of those leads that maybe are responding. And they're good. There's good and bad when it comes to purchasing leads. Sometimes you purchase leads and maybe you might get a few leads, a few sales, or you build some relationships with a few of those individuals. And sometimes you purchase leads and you get zero, because they're not really targeted per se. And a lot of times those lead resources are just rehashed leads and things of that nature. But I've got a few good ones that are good, that are reputable. But again, I still take all that with a grain of salt when it comes to purchasing leads. What's going to really make the difference is how many numbers you're going through. If I get I've got emails. So Steve, I bought 25 leads. I didn't get any sales. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Because you just bought 25 leads. That's not enough. Now if you're doing 25 leads a day or so, yeah, just sheer numbers, it's going to be impossible. If you're buying or acquiring 25 leads a day, it's almost impossible for somebody not to buy over time, if that makes sense, because the law of averages. You're buying, you're getting so much exposure over time. Eventually, someone's going to buy, even if you're getting one lead a day, right? If you're just getting one lead a day or buying one lead a day, eventually somebody's going to buy. It's the law of averages, guys. And, okay, I was getting one lead a day, and when I got my 125th lead, finally somebody bought. Well, there's your law of averages. For every 125 leads, somebody's going to buy, or somebody might buy based on the ratio that you're seeing. Of course, it might take a little bit more to kind of really see a ratio, but I think you get the picture. So Janet, I'll be sure to put a few links in the description below this video so you can check those resources out. They're all great, and I think it's great for people that are maybe starting out to buy leads or do some type of paid type of marketing method so they can get more exposure. Because when it all comes down to your success, it's all going to come down to how many people you're exposing. And if you're not exposing that many people, whatever method or methods that you're using, that's going to really dictate on what type of results you're going to get long term. Okay, so it's definitely a great place to start. So I'll be sure to put that information in there for you. All right, great, good questions, guys. Let me look at my notes here. Let me look at a few different things here. Ezra, what's up, man? Tips on list building. So Ezra says, can you share some tips on list building? That is definitely one way that they make a lot of money. I'm talking about like a lot of my mentors. Even we've made some money online, of course, too, and we built a list. Let me see a tip. I would say my number one tip for building a list. There's several methods I use here, and I'm trying to think back when we were new. How did we build our list initially? Even in the beginning, I'm going back to 2012. You know what, guys? Honestly, it was videos. I really made it an effort to be a professional, to be a person of value. I really wanted to help and educate people on what I was learning, and being a corporate trainer. I used to be a corporate trainer for T-Mobile, my former life, I guess you could say. And with that, being in like adult learning and all that kind of environment, I picked up on a few things that it's all about giving education and helping people. So I knew, and from what I was learning from other resources like My Lead System Pro, I'll put some information below about all that, on just making yourself available so you become the resource. I like that. You become the resource, and I think I took that literally, I wanted to become the resource, with program that I was promoting that I actually still promote, pretty much on autopilot now, but, I wanted to become a resource of, hey guys, here's some tools you can use. Hey guys, here's some resources that can help you as well. I wanted people to come to me for those resources. And what happened, we started offering different trainings and different things I was using. And people started opting in to a lot of my different websites. And, I would have like, a training on how to do whatever. And, and to get that training, they would opt in to get that training. Therefore, I would build a relationship with that person, even though they might be getting emails from my autoresponder after they opted in, but they opted in because they wanted some type of training about something I was talking about, and it wasn't anything major. It could have just been something on, how to copy and paste, or how to set up your autoresponder, or how to upload a video on YouTube or whatever. Just very general things like that. And that's really how we initially built our list, was from providing resources, providing training. That's really how we did it, providing a lot of training. Hey guys, one thing about the home-based business industry is that people struggle, and they really don't know where to begin in a lot of cases. And if you build your brand as, hey, that's the guy, or hey, that's the gal, or hey, that's the person that seems to have a lot of the answers, people just kind of flock to you. Then you never really have an issue making sales with stuff, because people see you as an expert, they see you as a mentor, they see you as a resource, and so they'll always come to you. And then a lot of times people would just join certain things that maybe you're involved in simply because they love the value that you give to them. And that's what I've learned over the years. So that's definitely one of my best strategies. And anybody can do that, even brand new can start doing that. And, matter of fact, we'll do some trainings on that, just some, to really help you guys with that. I'm going to do some, matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to do some training on just some really cool, more specific ways on how you can really start building your list, and we'll do some screen shares and stuff like that. So that's coming up here shortly. So stay tuned for that. Good question though. Can you share some tips on? Okay, I just did that one. I didn't highlight you there. So Ezra had that. Can you share some tips on list building? Thanks for that, Ezra. Let's see. Let me see. Janet. Okay, great. Also looking forward to add it to your groups. I was waiting on that. I'll be sure to get you added, Janet, for sure. Deontay, hi, this is Deontay Curry. Whoever keeps telling me the web page is not active, what should I do? Anytime you're using Aweber or GetResponse or whatever, guys, one of the biggest questions, or I guess one of the most popular questions in terms of how do I do whatever in pretty much any business that I've seen over the past 6 years is autoresponder questions. Oh my God. There's just tons and tons and tons of questions about autoresponder questions. And the only way, especially with this question here, page is not active. What should I do? One, typically make sure that you're putting in the right information. And this goes whether it's Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's always the same old questions with any auto-responding service when people are trying to set them up for the first time. How did I learn how to kind of mess around with auto-responding programs? I just messed around with them and I just troubleshooted it. I just made sure that I was doing everything correctly. So if I got an error, I said, okay, well, it's telling me my page does not exist. Did I put the right page in? Or did I put the right link in? And in a lot of cases, usually when I've got a question like that, and no fault of your own or anything, just saying, just from what I've seen over the years, usually, they forgot to put the, a character or a dot somewhere or whatever, or they didn't test the actual link to see if the actual page came up first to, just to make sure they confirmed that everything was correct. So I would say one of the best advice I can give to anyone trying to set up an autoresponder to connect to whatever it is that you're connecting it to is to double, triple, quadruple check, right? Because they work. You just got to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And until then, it's just going to be issues, so I always say double check, triple check. Make sure every step of the way that you're doing is perfect, right? It has to be perfect, right? And if it's not perfect, you're always going to have those issues. So that's my best advice for anybody trying to set up an autoresponder. Good question though. Let's see. I've been using solo ads from Udemy since. Let me see. Ezra asked this question here. Let's see. Pull it up here. I've been using solo ads from Udemy since I didn't have anyone on my list. After a few purchases, I've accumulated over 200 plus leads. Exactly. I think Udemy solo ads. I think that's a very good resource because it's more of a community, so you can kind of see who's good or who's not good in terms of the provider. So that's a very good example, Ezra, of just people just taking advantage of resources. Now, I would say this: the only way you're really going to start building your list is just testing things out. Nothing's really, perfect in the aspect of, hey, if you do this, this is going to happen. You really just got to test we all do our methods and strategies a certain way. Yeah, I've learned some things from my mentors. And I do them, but I kind of do them my kind of way, if that makes sense. You're going to learn from other mentors, maybe even from myself or whatever, but you're going to have your own little spin to it, if that makes sense, right? But the only way you can really develop that is just by doing. That's the only way you're really going to really grasp, what you're trying to do when you're trying to list build. And there's a lot of different methods. There's solo ads, there's YouTube videos, there's building your brand. But I would say ultimately building your brand is going to be probably the biggest way. But definitely purchasing leads and doing solo ads is definitely a great place to start because now and for those that don't know what a solo ad is, it's basically you're like renting out somebody else's list. Like this person has tons and tons of, emails and names and everything. They have an extensive list of, biz op seekers or whoever because of things that they've done in the past, and it could be hundreds of even millions of people, right? And then you can actually say, hey, I'll give you X amount of dollars if you send my link, what I'm promoting, to your list. That's really what a solo ad is. And so they work out very well, and you can actually build your list, using those options. And they definitely do work, especially if you're consistent, right? Doing one solo ad is not going to make you rich or anything, but it can definitely help plant the seeds for you to start building a very extensive list, just like what Ezra has done here as well. So, great. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Janet, you're great at what you do. Only because I fail a lot. let me say that I screw up a lot of stuff, guys, but I learn. I never lose. I either win or I learn. Anybody ever heard that quote before? I never lose. I either win big or I just learn. Like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. Oh, I learned from that. I screwed that one up. I know next time I'm going to do it this way, right? So I either win big or I just learn. And you guys are the same way. You're either going to win big or you're just going to learn, right? You never lose though. Not in this game. You're really just learning on what to do and what not to do. And you're going through the process. Let me see. Anthony, what's up, man? Let me see. Let me put your question in here. Here's my friend Anthony here. What advice do you have for me? I own my own business selling designer fragrances via the internet. I mean, there's a few different routes, that you can take here. Of course, you can of course do, and you probably already done this, Anthony. I know you've been online for a little while now. Of course, you can do Facebook ads and target people that are, that have expressed some type of interest in that, and find the demographic for that. So you're gonna have to do some research with that to really hone that down to see what group of people, especially like on Facebook, that tend to have the biggest interest when it comes to that. And Facebook has ways that you can do that. So you're going to have to do some research. I have to get with me later. I have to show you some things that you can do. It's too complicated here, but in this form. But that's one. Of course, Facebook ads and finding the audience and then targeting that ad to that specific audience. And then, of course, YouTube. If your business is selling designer fragrances, if I go to YouTube and I type in that phrase, fragrances, incense, candles, stuff like that, I'm sure that I would probably come across some people that are probably, if you look at them, they're like the experts, right? They might have a lot of subscribers, a lot of views. They got a lot of videos on a lot of different things related to that particular topic. And I would kind of research what they're doing, and then I would actually start making my own channel and where I'm talking about the things that I'm doing, the products that I'm offering, and the value that I've learned over the years in that industry, and sharing a lot of that information, online. And that's how you can even get more exposure, especially for free, because, when it comes to YouTube videos, it's free marketing, but you definitely got to make sure that you're marketing and you're creating content that can really help put you in the light as, hey, you're the expert. And that's really what you want to do. So when someone types in that information on YouTube or Google, who's coming up, and if you're not there in that listing, well, that's fine, because we all start somewhere, but you can change that. You can be one of those persons, one of those individuals when people are searching for that information, and your videos and your information keeps popping up, right? So you got to start somewhere. So that's what I would do, is I would become the man when it comes to designer fragrances, just in the industry. And how do you become the man? You have to show people that you're the man, right? You got to let them know the value that you have, what you have to offer. Give them some information. Educate your audience on why they need to follow you, And of course, all this takes time. It's definitely not something that you're going to do in the next 48 hours, But definitely in the next 48 days, you could definitely make an impact for sure. Because 48 days, you can make a lot of content. You can do a lot of different things that can really impact that niche on the internet, and that's a lot of people. But if you don't have the content, they don't know who you are. So why should they buy from you versus some of these other people that maybe have a lot of information, a lot of value, a lot of content, and they're getting a lot of value from them? Who do you think they're going to really buy from first? So that's what I would do. And you maybe have done some of this stuff already, but if you're not, that's what I would do. And that's how I would attack it. I would become the person when it comes to that particular industry. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Good questions, guys. We're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. Marcus, what's up, man? What is a good place to learn a system to online market? I've got several. I'll post some information right below. Definitely one, of course, called My Lead System Pro. Another one's called Legendary Marketer. And there's some other systems out there as well. But I would say those are the two that I really gravitate to. And I'll put some information below. So, of course, you can check out information, but I'll put some information below and after this video so you can check out, that information, stuff like this. So let me write that down. Legendary. And a couple other things I need to write down. Lead sources. Okay, all right, cool. So again, Mark, thanks for the question, but hey, I'm telling you, if you really want to learn how to really market, I got some resources that really taught me. I wasn't self-taught. I had to be a part of something, guys. Because I was screwing stuff up before. I think before we became members of My Lead System Pro back in the day. I was just lost and frustrated and mad, and pissed off because everybody's making money around me and I wasn't making no money. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I got good products. I got good whatever I was doing back in those days. I don't know. I don't even remember. But I wasn't making no money. I can tell you that much. But until I really plugged into the right community that had all the right information, that's when things really started working out for us. And again, it wasn't that it did anything for me per se. They just gave me the information. And I would say this, guys, whatever system, whatever you plug into, there's a lot of things out there they have a lot of great information. Don't just take the information and don't do anything with it. It's not going to be you're going to have questions. You're going to learn. You're going to watch some webinar. You're going to wow, that was amazing. You're like, man, well, I got to do that, but I got a question. Should I do it like this or should I do it like that? That was a great tactic, but what about this or what about that, guys? Just do it. Just do it anyway. It's not going to be perfect. I learn by doing. And I've said this before. You can show me all these different methods and strategies and tools and all this stuff that's out here on the internet. I'm not going to learn it and really get it and really figure it out until I start playing with it. I got to start putting it in play. That's the only way that I'm going to get there. And that's the only reason we've had success is because I'll learn stuff and then I'll actually do it, right? Most people, and I can say this, most people will receive the information, but they don't want to do anything with it because in their mind it has to be perfect, right? Or I got to work my way up to it. No, just do it and screw it up. Fail a few times, right? That's how you win. You fail your way to success. That's the game, guys. That's what you got to do. But Marcus, so check back here. Or send me a message or whatever, and I'll send you that information. But I'll post some information in the description a little bit later on. Let me see. Good questions, guys. It's good questions, guys. Hey, it's a good Monday. Let's see. Chris says use YouTube. Yep, my favorite platform. What's another good system besides, let me see, for sales? I would say really the best system that you can use is this right here. Your system. You are the system. Just keeping it real, guys. No system has really helped me, really. Honestly, it's just been my content driving people to the system. That's what really makes the difference in whatever we've done. That'll help. That's going to help give you more conversions. If you want more money long term, there's a lot of things you can do in the short term. But it don't last. I made 2 sales this week and then, make any more sales for another 7-8 months. I like doing things that are going to scale up, right? They might start a little small and then, you go from 1 sale in a week and then you go, maybe now you're getting 2 sales in a week. Then you go from now you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 sales in a week, right? Does that make sense? That's how I like to market. I know it's going to start small, but I want to build it, right? And the best way to build is to brand yourself. Your number one competitor in whatever it is that you're promoting is not other companies. It's all your peers that are in that business with you. Just let that sit for a second. So that goes back to that quote I heard earlier today. Differentiate yourself or die. Okay? So just remember that. There's a lot of people that are marketing just like you. So you got to differentiate yourself from all them other people, right? And that's how you can be seen more. Okay? And the only way you can really do that is you, because you're an individual. There's nobody else like you. You have an individual fingerprint on the world, right? So you have to let people know who you are and the value that you can bring. And it's all just a process. And that's what we've done, and that's what's helped us over the years. Let's see. Ezra says, one last question. How do you spend most of your time? Well, I would say, let's talk about this. Leisurely, I love movies. We're going to the movies here in a little while. I love video. I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Because I like video. So I love the art of film, the video. I love everything about it, right? So leisurely, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of looking and checking out other people's YouTube channels, Facebook pages. I look at a lot of people and people that I follow that are doing big things. And so I spend a lot of time just, checking people out and seeing what they're doing. And that's how I learn based off of other people's success. Facebook, YouTube, guys, it's one big cheat sheet. You want to know how to be successful, just watch what others are doing, and because they're telling you right there. And it definitely make a big difference overall. And that's really what we do. And so a lot of my spare time is that, of course I do trainings, of course, and I watch a lot of training stuff all the time because I'm always trying to get better. And I'm always tinkering with stuff, methods, tools, resources, gadgets, stuff like that. So I'm always kind of playing around with stuff like that too. But overall, I just try to stay busy, but I have fun too. Me and my wife, we here in Vegas, so we go out and do things as well. But the internet is definitely a big part of our life for sure. And so we use a lot of the resources that we have, in front of us every day, and really take advantage of it on the fun side and even on the work side. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. Janet, how many days do you suggest with spacing out email autoresponders? I think, you can do it normally as a rule. Well, no, I don't want to say that. Things I've done in the past, like when someone first opts in, I typically send them like an email like every day for like 4 or 5 days. And then after that, I kind of like stretch it out like every other day or so. And even stretch that out even further as, but it all depends on how big your email sequence is. Do you have are you sending people 5 emails, 10 emails, 45 emails? Do you have an email campaign with hundreds of emails in them? But I would say I don't think it's that important in the beginning for sure. I think the main thing is just and test it out. See how people respond if you're emailing them every day. See how they're responding if you're emailing them every other day or so. And you can see in your results. But I would say for me, usually that first week I'll email them every day for about 3 to 5 days, and then after that I'll kind of start spacing it out some. But even in those emails, I really want to try to. And one thing I'm going to be doing big this year is really just being more personal in the emails as well, which I do anyway. I try to make them very impersonal and not so corporate-y or spammy per se. Sometimes I just got something I need to say and I just say it in email and I just send it out, right? But some of my email sequences sometimes can seem to be a little scripted, and so I'm going to be making some changes with that. But usually, just to answer your question, usually after about 3 to 5 days, I kind of stretch it out over like every other day or so, and just kind of go from there. But with that, again, test out, see how things work. For you and your audience. And that's one thing about marketing. It's just one big test because marketing is always changing. It's never the same. You know, how we used to market back in 2012 has changed. It's not the same anymore. Facebook isn't the same anymore. YouTube isn't the same anymore. Things are just different now, you know, and it's always changing. So what I do a lot is I just test things out and see how things work. And then I make those adjustments based off of the results that I'm getting from whatever I just did. And so just don't be afraid to test things out and just see how they work out for you. You'll learn a lot faster that way. Good question, very good question. Let me see who we got here. We got Lewis. What's up, man? Lewis says, I know that starting out with no credibility is difficult. So how did you first start out getting other people's attention about what you have to offer? That's a really good question. That is a really good question. I would say, Lewis, I just, you know, I remember, and we're going to be wrapping this up here in a minute. I'm trying to speed this up, but I remember starting out late June 2012. How many subscribers did I have on my YouTube channel? 0. How many, don't forget to subscribe. So if you're watching, be sure to subscribe, you know, so you be connected and you'll know when I upload other videos. But, how many people did I have on Facebook at the time? Probably about 200. And those were people that I worked with at T-Mobile, family, classmates, friends, stuff like that. And I wasn't even posting on Facebook at that time. I was just watching other people's posts. So how we did it was I learned something. I was, of course, a part of My Lead System Pro at that time. I was just learning. But I hadn't quite applied anything yet because I wasn't promoting anything. I was just really just in a learning stage. And they kept talking about just branding yourself and making videos. And we've talked about this. This is like an ongoing theme here. And I remember soaking all that information I was learning from these six-figure earners, millionaire, you know, multi-millionaire earners and stuff on the internet. And one day I was on YouTube and there was a person who I had just joined in this particular business, right? And he was doing something, you know, $4 grand a week or something like that, you know, 20 years old, 21 years old or whatever. And I remember he did a post one day. He said, hey, just had another $3,500 week. And I'm like, man, how is he doing that? I mean, what is he doing? Why is everybody joining him? So I went to YouTube and I'm just stalking, you know, and I'm looking at his videos and they weren't fancy videos, very, this is 2012. So of course I don't even think YouTube had HD videos at that time, but, I was looking at his videos, right, and I counted it. I said, okay, how many videos does he have on this front page? So I counted like, I don't know, maybe 7, right? And then on the next page, it was like 5. And then on the next page after that, and I counted, I think about 30-something. I think it was like 38 videos, like within, I don't know, 5 weeks, something like that. Just mostly just mobile phone videos, just him going to the bank, cashing his check, or talking about something he just rented out went somewhere and was staying in a nice hotel or something like that. And it just hit me. That's how he's doing it. He's doing it because he knows people are searching information for more information about this particular program. So he's making a whole bunch of content. So when people are searching around for that information, he pops up all over the information. Okay, all over on the front page, all over the second page on YouTube, all over the third page on YouTube. He had videos on the front page on Google. So I was like, that's how he's doing it. And I said, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do as well. And we started making content. And next thing you know, we started popping up on the front page. You know, this is over 5 or 6 week period, of course, of me just constantly making content. But that's how we really started. That's how we started getting the credibility by making content. And then I promoted the content on my Facebook page, on my Facebook fan page, and some other resources that we were using back then. Things are a little bit different now. But But you can still do that. You can still promote your content, especially like on Facebook and different groups that I was a part of and stuff like that. Promoting my content. Because in my video, I'll tell you where to go. So I don't need to send you to my page in my post. I just need to send you to my video so you can get to know me. And matter of fact, that's how I got started, because he wasn't the person that initially shared the information with me. It was somebody else that I didn't know that popped up in my newsfeed, clicked on the video, thought the opportunity was interesting, started doing more research on YouTube, kept seeing his videos all over the place. I'm like, well, hey, if I'm going to do this thing, I might as well do it with him. He seems like the guy that knows everything about this program, so I'm going to sign up with him. That's how it went down. And next thing you know, as I started making content, people started finding me and relating to me as well. So, because everybody looks for certain individuals, certain types of people, right? I'm sure there are people that saw my content like, oh, I don't like that dude. I don't like that Steve Rachel guy. I'm gonna sign up with this person, right? But then there were people that would be like, well, hey, I've been watching videos and I didn't like really, some of those other videos, but when I came across your video, I like what you had to say. So they would sign up with me. And that's how it goes with every opportunity. That's how I built the credibility, because I was visible, right? That's how you build it, right? You got to be visible. You got to show people you have value to share. And that's really what happened. That's really how we built our credibility in the beginning. And we started doing a lot of training, showing, for what I was learning. I started making videos about it. Here's a funny story. I would watch a video like in the back office of My Elite System Pro about how to do some ninja trick or something on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, right? And it's like, wow, some good stuff, right? And I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. And then I'll make a video of me doing that method, showing people how to do that method. People thought it was my idea. Let that sink in for a second, right? And so we started building up, a following, because people started saying, hey, you got to follow that Steve Rachel guy. He's got a bag of tricks that can help you get leads and sales or whatever. And the stuff worked. The stuff really worked, because I would use the stuff, but it wasn't my idea. I saw another, successful person using this method, that I'll make my own video, with my own swag to it or whatever. And people would think the idea came from me. And that's how we really built it. That's how we built our credibility initially, was just sharing what we were learning. I like that. I'm going to do a t-shirt on that. We just shared what we learned. That's really what we were doing. And so that's how you can do it too, Lewis, is just share what you're learning. Be visible. Document what you're doing, right? Take people on the journey with you. Because people love to see what people are doing, okay? And how they're doing things. And the result of doing certain things. And that's really what made the difference for us. All right. Very good question. Very good question. Hopefully that helps some. Give you some perspective. Let's see. Karl, what's up, man? Do you have coaching for YouTube marketing or a training product for purchase? I got some things, but, I got some other things that I'm working on. So I'll be sure to hit you up. I'll be posting some other information, some training products that I'm a part of now that are outstanding, that can really help get you in the right direction if you're marketing and you're having some issues trying to get to the next stage. So I'm going to put a lot of information in the description on this video. So be sure to come back to it later, and you'll be able to see it. And I'll probably try to even respond to some of these comments as well, a little bit later on. But very good question. So stay tuned for that. I got a lot of good stuff coming. Let me see. Avelis, I think is how you pronounce your name. Hello. Let me see. For purchase through official website. Let me see. Yes, if you're looking for support for that particular website, just go to support@mcaauthority.com, and you'll be able to, there's a support line for that. Jerome, what's up, man? Ezra, thanks, Steve. I always enjoy your live streams. Appreciate Ezra. Thanks for the great questions. Marcus says, Let me see. Will you ever do a video on your marketing blueprint? I have not. I have not because I asked not. Sure. I've got, and I think I've done something very similar to that in one of my videos. I think in one of my legendary marketer videos, I think I kind of go over that process near in the middle portion of the video. But I'll be sure to send you that information as well. But I got some things I'm working. I got a lot I'm working on now. Now that I'm back, it's been a busy few months, man, from working and everything, and then proms and graduate. Oh man, it's just been crazy. So I think it's all about to settle down now. So it's going to be pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's see, doing something. All right, let's see. Karl says, were you popping up just from the video itself, or was you doing something to make the video rank? I heard there's a method of getting videos viewed. Karl, a really good way, guys, and I'll give this tip, and we'll do some more live videos now that I'm back home too. Where I'll do some actually specific training where I'll pull up, the screen shares and show you a few methods. But one good way, guys, is live videos on YouTube. So if you really want, and there's a way that you can actually schedule videos and even pre-recorded videos as well. There's a, if you go to, I think I just changed that link. Let me make sure. Let me make sure, because I know my wife is working on some stuff. My wife is our web designer. She does all our websites. If you go to Reviews by Steve, I think it's .net. Let me make sure I got so many. Yeah, Reviews by Steve.net. I'll put it here in the deal. And there's a lot of my different resources that I use. Let me type it in here, guys, really quick. www.reviewsbysteve.net. Hope you guys can see this here. All right. Here. Hope you guys can see that. So if you want to get access to some of the different tools that I use, especially for videos and even equipment and stuff like that, you can go to reviewsbysteve.net, and you can also go to steverachel.com. I think there's some other information, some other insight there as well. But reviewsbysteve.net will give you access to some of the different tools and different things that I'm using. And there's one in particular. I don't know, Karl, if you're using a Mac or Windows. I'm using a Mac, and what I'm using here for this live broadcast is a system application called Ecamm. It's only for Mac users. There are some other ones out there like OBS. And I'm not going to get too technical right now, but you'll see some of that information on reviewsbysteve.net. But one of the best ways to really get your videos viewed pretty quickly is to do a live video on YouTube. And there's even ways with these different third-party applications where you can actually take a pre-recorded video and broadcast it live, straight on YouTube, even on Facebook. So you can do Facebook and YouTube, and even Periscope. So a lot of cool things out here, and we'll do one. I'll do a live video where I'll just go over a lot of cool applications and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. It's just so much, guys, as you can tell. But I'll be breaking down a lot of cool videos going forward. So again, that was reviewsbysteve.net. Very good questions, guys. Let me see. Lady Smash 711. Thank you. This is good stuff. Lewis, awesome stuff. Thanks. My pleasure. Here, let me move this out the way. And let's see. Janet has one last question. This will be the last question, guys. And then I'll just have to answer the other ones, after a little bit later after this video processes. Janet says, I understand that doing autopilot is great, but should I also be contacting individuals on the phone, and how often? Very good question. I get this question a lot. I think it's good. If you happen to have a lead and you have their name and number, especially if they've opted in to something, I think it's a good training platform for one, to really get your speech to where you can be more confident into what you're talking about. I think that's good. Normally, if I've purchased leads or anything, but I would say it all depends on the individual. I know some people that are like, they're like killer phone closers. I mean, they can pick up a phone book, pick a number and call and do that a few times and close somebody. Just total stranger, just out of the pocket. I mean, they're just good at that. And that's what they do for a living. But if you're like new and you're still trying to figure out what you can do, I probably wouldn't recommend that. But if you're marketing something and you get someone that opts in, right, into an offer that you're offering, and you have their name and their number, and you want to give them a call, yeah, give them a call. Normally what I do, usually when I've done that in the past, I've actually sent them a text message first. Because if you guys are like me, if I see a number that I don't know, I normally don't answer it, right? Just because my phone rings all the time from people from all over the place, and I can just be on the phone 5 minutes, I can be on the phone 50 minutes, right? So, and you get, and we got things to do, and, I'm, working on this, working on that, and I got family and all that kind of stuff, right? So typically, so even for me, I kind of respect other people's lives as well. And I'll typically, like Janet, when I've actually purchased leads, typically I don't like to call them. If I do want to contact them, I either do it through email or text. And normally I'm going to always let them know who I am and how I got their information. Okay. I'll say, hey, Tony, this is Steve, Rachel. You don't know me, but I got your information from a lead source that indicated that you were looking for a home-based business. Are you still interested in something like that? So I will kind of start it off like that. I'll let them know who I am, how I got your information, because you don't want to just say, hit somebody up and not really kind of disclose a lot of that, because they'd be like, how'd you get my information? And you might even still get some of that, because some people forget they even opt into certain things or whatever. But for the most part, usually I've gotten some really good responses from people saying, yeah, I am still interested in a home-based business. What do you have? Hey, great. Glad that you're still interested. Give me a second. I'm going to send you some information of a video, a 10-minute video that you can watch or whatever. And it just kind of goes from there. Does that make sense? So that's really what I've done in terms of phone calls. I typically don't do cold phone calling unless they've kind of already been pre-qualified. Right? If they're kind of expecting someone to call, if you're doing some system and they got something set up like that. But typically what I normally do, if I have a number, usually I don't call, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just kind of know how people are. Normally I'll just send them a text message. Hey, I got your information. You opted in. And it can even be from your website. So if it's from your website, hey, Mike, this is Steve. Hey, I just got a notification that you opted in on my whatever.com website earlier today, just checking to see if you had any questions on what you saw, right? And I'll just kind of set the stage from there. And again, I let them know who I am, let them know how you got their information. They were on your website today, so they should remember that, right? Most cases they do, some cases they don't, but most cases they do. But that should be able to help you in regards of following up or calling those individuals that you get leads from. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff, Janet. Thanks for sharing that question. So hey, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Got a few things to finish up, and thanks for hopping on, guys. Thanks for checking everything out. Be sure to check back a little bit later on. I'll be adding some pretty cool links below in the description of this video. Some really cool resources that you guys can use. Some of the ones that people asked about, some lead sources, some other sources that I'm using in regards of, that really helps me to be a better marketer. And that's really what it's all about, guys. You gotta become a better marketer. If you want better results, you gotta become better. It's just not so, if I use this tool, I get all these leads. No, you gotta become a better marketer, right? You just gotta become better yourself. And that's how you're gonna attract the success that you need and that you want, right? That's how it's going to work. So with that said, guys, hey, I really appreciate you guys hopping on. So again, be sure to check out the links right below. I'll be able to put that information here. Give it some time because I think the video's got a process or whatever. So a little bit later on this evening, I'll put that information below and you'll be able to check it out. So, hey guys, thanks for hopping on, and we'll see you on the next live video. Peace out.